I'm Dror Benshetrit. I'm the founder of Studio Dror. We are an idea-driven design practice that specializes in holistic approach to design. What we like to do is to create new conversations in different disciplines, architecture, design, and art. We like to provoke new ideas. We like to test new things. We like to experiment. We have an interest in pushing boundaries on every project that we do. Sometimes it's through structures, sometimes it's through new use of materials, sometimes it's a new approach, a new way of thinking, sometimes it's creating things that comes from different disciplines, knowledge that comes from different industry that can affect the way that a new approach can begin. So the studio have started in 2002 when I moved to New York after graduated from the Design Academy in Eindhoven. I came to New York and very quickly realized that I have a lot of different interests in design and that I couldn't really choose where to focus. And I very quickly realized that I'm either going to become a specialist at one approach or become a generalist. Through the first few projects that we've worked on, we realized that there's a lot of things that are very important for us besides just the design of things. For instance, on the Vase of Phases, which was one of the first products that we've done for Rosenthal, we've asked Rosenthal what would the packaging look like, what would the name be, how it would be photographed, how it would be displayed in stores, how are you going to use flowers, what kind of flowers. And when we put all those questions, they basically asked them back to us and said, well, what would you do, how would you call it, how would you package it. So very quickly we realized that we care about all those things and we need to address all those things when we create a vision for anything, whether it's a product or an architecture or a master plan. So this is how things have evolved to become this holistic practice where we don't have boundaries between disciplines. We collaborate with all kinds of specialists that are part of the discussion on every project. So today we do architectural projects, master planning, product design, creative direction, interior, and installations. A lot of design is storytelling, of course, and I think that we like to call ourselves an idea-driven design practice because it is very important for us where things are coming from, what's the idea, what's the motivation of doing something. Sometimes it's in a form of a story, sometimes it's in a form of an understanding of something that needs a change, sometimes it's, but it is always about a certain communication. It is always about not just a choice of color or radiuses or texture. It's always a lot more than that. We play a lot with physics, we play a lot with gravity, we play a lot with structures, and structures at times are very similar. They work in a similar way in a very small scale and in a very large scale. So sometimes we have a challenge where we start looking at inspirations from things that somebody from the outside would look at and say, what? What does that have anything to do with this? And that's actually what excites me the most, is how all those things are connected, how they inform and influence one another. Best inspiration is always from nature, and if it's not from nature, it's from something else that was inspired by nature that you kind of evolved from. But for me, that's the passion, is to have conversations that are equally important at time, that have a very different impact on what we call well-being. the greatest satisfaction I get from what I do happens in various ways. I think that at some point you learn to appreciate the full spectrum of the process that every project takes. The idea phase, that aha moment, of course, it's so gratifying because something new is in your head, something that was never there before is in your head, but that's just a phase, and that's just a phase that if you don't keep of nurturing and give it the right attention, it would never become a reality. So I like to look at every challenge as a positive challenge. I like to look at everything as something that needs the same care and attention and passion. At times, the things that we fail with are the things that we're actually afraid of. So to turn them and shift them from fear to love is one of the ways to enjoy the process and to grant better potential and better results.